Hi, next episode.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, so we're on the final third at least. I don't know if I've gotten far enough. There's too much to say.
I'm
Uh,
just thinking you haven't even gotten to the birth.
yeah, I guess we need to get to that. Well, that's where we're at. That's where I'm at anyway.
Yeah. And we
Um,
do jump around.
and Chevin in the picture right before part 4, chapter 4. Fuck, how many chapters? We did 8, right? Wait, how many chapters did we do? Oh no, that was Song of Suzanne. How many chapters did we? 7. Wait.
I
Damn.
didn't pay attention to chapters. I have no idea.
There's 7. I thought I was further into this than I am.
That was,
Might
yeah.
have to move forward a little bit. Due to time constraints, we now move forward in this episode. So when did Susanna and Mia like become two different people, and where the hell did Mia get her own body from?
We talked about that. It definitely happened in Song of Susanna, but
Okay, we did.
it seemed.
Oh, also, so according to the Dark Tower fandom wiki, Discordia is the state of chaos and anarchy that would be caused by the collapse of the Dark Tower.
So Roland's asking if he's so Chevin of Chavin is saying the tower's going to fall, and that's why Roland's interested, I guess.
I guess.
So Discordia is the fall of the tower, more or less. I mean, I guess that makes sense. We could have figured that out probably.
I still don't understand what he's asking though, but whatever.
I think he's saying the tower's going to fall. Do you say so?
I guess, but he's just saying.
I don't know how this. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't remember who he's talking. It doesn't matter that much. We should.
He's talking to Chevin of Chavin.
No, I don't remember who he's talking about. Oh, the walk-ins, where he's like, I felt sad for them.
Yeah.
Can talk, can talk, can Discordia. I'm like, what is? I don't get it. Well, whatever.
Like, what's the one? J or possibly G. We haven't gotten a lot of that lately with his little characterisms. And then it did, but by the time J or G, I think by the time they die, they just become one. They just become J. I've never actually seen J spelled Jey. I thought that was cool. Unless I'm pronouncing it wrong. Mordred has the crimson mark on his left heel, as if it had been dipped in blood just before it came out. Well, it probably was.
I was real confused for half a second when he was born a normal human baby. I was like, what?
I mean, right.
I was more confused as to why the normal human baby had a raging erection. I was like, is this necessary?
I don't think it was. Yeah, and not only that, but it was, bigger than normal. Like, what are you doing here? I don't. Why did I need any of that? He must have been like, I don't know. Well, he was sober by this point in his life, so I don't know. And good God, he was like 55. Like Dark Tower, 2006. He was born what 47, right? So that's almost 60. Why does he care about stuff like that still?
Yeah, don't know. Didn't need it.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I'm just gonna. Is that even? I guess that's the point. It's not possible. Detta shows up. Like Detta. I need a book about Detta, like before she met Roland. How about the robot that looks just like Andy? I don't know if I could take that.
I know. I love how she immediately shoots his eyes out.
Well, I mean, he's like, I can't see, Sai. My eyes have been shut out. Like, I'm sorry about that.
She was like, I kind of freaked out a little bit.
Well, did she? I mean, look at the situation. Fuck, I think I might have. The robot was the biggest threat in the room, right?
I guess that's true. Like, I wouldn't trust any robots I meet anymore.
Yeah.
It's a weird
Can't-
Not one that's
can't blame them.
like midwifing the devil child of eternity. I don't care how fucking Nigel. That's not a English butler's name. My God. But she's quick to just like jump in his arms, like, all right, carry me here. He's like, I would, but I can't fucking see. And then he's like, oh yeah, I got infrared, so yeah, I'll just do that. Like, well,
Figured it out. Yeah.
now I don't feel bad for you, fucker. You had that the whole time. I don't know that I could have had Andy pick me up and carry me down the hallway. And I get the end, she's like, put me down. He's like, I wondered, and she wondered if he had actually do it. So Mordred's born a baby and quickly shrivels all Mia's essence out and turns into a spider.
Yeah.
All of that.
What do you say?
I hated all of that. I just like I think I told you guys last time that I basically just write notes in like a stream of consciousness as I'm reading. And I literally wrote like, why another spider? God damn it.
I mean, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You have a tiger thing. I forgot
I
about
was
that.
like, I was gonna try to warn you, but I also was like, I don't want to ruin it. I can't.
So, there's going to be a lot of things that may or may not upset you in this book, and I'm not giving you hints on anything. I mean, just experience it the way we did.
They will upset you. I don't think it's a may not. But...
You don't read Stephen King and expect not to be upset, so. Or expect everything, to live happily ever after.
Right.
So I thought that was a good, but I did immediately think of Pennywise. I couldn't help it. I was like, oh yeah, a spider with a head on it. I think I've done that before. So yeah, it's almost like they're twins, or
He
they're
must have
both.
had a problem with spiders because he definitely is terrified of them or scared of them.
Somebody's scared of them. They do make good bad guys, though, right? Anthropomorphically speaking.
I guess just because they look creepy and they have lots of legs, but I love spiders. Like, they're the best bugs. I mean, sorry, Allie, I know you're not gonna like them. Like, they're the best to keep around because they don't bother me and they eat the other bugs.
Depends on how big they are. I'm not doing wolf spiders or any of that nonsense. But
Well, obviously not.
There is one that I have come to peace with that's living above my front door. That as long as he stays up there, we're chill. But
we got one on our railing that made a really cool web. The next day, the entire web was gone. The day after that, it was in a different spot. It's like,
Next day,
and I'm leaving.
Save the pig.
Right? But so I'm leaving all the spiders up because I haven't seen a lanternfly yet, but I feel like it still might be coming, right?
Mm. We don't have them in Virginia, really.
Not yet,
That's fair.
We didn't get any at our house till I think it was like August. Like everyone had them around us, but they didn't show up like in our block, I guess you would say. I think it was like August, but I haven't seen any at all this year. So they say they lay eggs in the trees and sit there. So every tree that I come across, I just wipe them down whenever I get a chance. So I'm leaving all the Mordreds and Pennywises around for the lanternflies.
Don't put it like that.
Fucking lanternflies are going toad ass. Check this out. Did anybody? I mean, I know you did, but Mordred had blue bombardier eyes, of course.
of course.
And I forgot to mention. Do we notice what John Cohen was wearing?
Of course, the blue chambray work shirt.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I need to go buy one of them. Can you? I'm going to Amazon that. See if it's even a thing.
I have a chambray skirt.
The blue? You working it? Could be a blue chambray work shirt.
Yep. I actually did wear it to work once.
Susanna would have died if Mordred looked at her, but she didn't. Instead, to the deflated sack of breast from which it had taken its first suck and tore it off. The sound of its chewing was wet and loose. A moment later, it burrowed into the hole of me. That whole part is very visual. I love it.
Yep.
The white human face, while Mia's was obliterated by the dust boiling out of her deflating head.
Nice.
No, that's cool. That's why we need a Dark Tower movie. I mean, series.
Yeah.
Something. That's why we need Flanagan. Mike Flanagan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I'm asking you right now.
You know you're listening.
Right? All 12 people that are listening want it. So I'm surprised. Wait. Oh, Susanna was about to shoot it when it turned into a spider, right? That's why she didn't shoot it.
Yeah.
And then she like became enthralled with her baby for some reason.
Ugh, yeah. I got so mad at her. I was like, "Are you shitting me? Like, girl."
I mean, yeah, postpartum's bitch, right? What?
It's just like, are you a gunslinger or are you not? Like, you need to get your shit together and get out of there.
I mean, I'm gonna say not because Roland would have killed him.
Yeah, it almost makes me wonder if, like, I'm not saying that wouldn't happen. Like, but if Stephen King is like, well, you know, she's a woman. It's a woman's call to her child.
It's very 1950s in some of these things, especially the Calla. My God, that thing was like a time warp. Oh yeah, she's about to shoot him, and he's like, "No, I'm the king's only son." It's like,
I think she was also just stunned.
Yeah. So then Sayer shoots at him.
Yeah.
Sayer, that guy. He was just enough of a pain in the ass to die. Horrible. Wait, doesn't Mordred eat him or something? How did Sayer die? Or does Susanna shoot him? I want Mordred to eat everybody because that was cool. Does he get bigger?
I'm sure he will.
So he's a baby-sized spider, right? He's not that's what he is.
I assume so.
Like he's not like I just said because I just thought of that when I said it.
Right.
He's not growing exponentially every time he eats, like in most horror movies. Susanna wanted a counterattack. Yeah. I think that's basically the end of that scene, right? So Sayer comes in and she kills Sayer, and Mordred. Where does Mordred go? He runs away somewhere. Through the door? Does he go to Fennec?
Yeah.
No, he can't. Wait.
Well, I don't know. I guess I assume. I don't remember if we actually see where he goes. Because it just.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to. Wait a minute. Where did Mordred go? Oh, there it goes.
Spider scuttled rapidly away from her, darting first behind the endlessly sirening robot and then through a dark doorway.
She shoots his leg off, right?
Yeah.
Clipping off one of its 8 hairy legs. And oh, yeah, he's like, I'll get you for that, my pretty. And your little dog, too. Or that different spot, but that's the voice that I heard. I'll pay you back for that. Which is interesting. So that felt like I needed to highlight that. I wonder if he pays her back for that. So yeah, so we don't actually know where Mordred went. He just like runs off like a. I don't know. I just kind of thought he would be more forceful and powerful just out of the gate. He's still kind of a vulnerable baby.
Mordred?
Kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, he was pretty badass. Like he kind of like nobody really expected him to rip Mia apart immediately. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like, I mean, have you ever heard of giving birth to a demon child that ended well for the mother? Like, come on.
Well, that's true.
You're from the demon world. You should know, like, this is gonna be a good thing. And it's Susanna too. Like, like if nothing else, she should have thought of that. But everybody seemed to overlook that. Very King Ex Machina. That's my new thing. My new favorite phrase. Like how Nigel won't respond to her until she calls him by his name. DNK45932. Or not, or no, he won't do what she tells him until she calls him by his full name. He'll respond. My eyes. Yeah. Oop. Will you still carry me? And how? Wait. He, the what are the doors called? Are they chassis doors? The portals. The New York. I'm trying to read what I highlighted. I don't remember what I highlighted, but I was highlighting all the different portals. So I don't remember what my point was. Some are one way, some aren't. So that's very annoying.
Yeah, we talked about that last time, which I still think is like, all right, so put another one that goes the other way. Like, what are we doing here? But all right.
I know. The escalator goes up, make it come down. What's the point?
Yeah. Could you imagine if they only had one escalator at each location?
Right. Yeah. There's
Sorry,
like
it only goes one way.
Yeah, second level's full of a bunch of people that don't know what to do. You got a fire pole or something? Shit. A steel ball on legs flashed its amber eyes with Nigel. He's a mech foreman and been stuck there for over 800 years. Probably boards, I imagine, poor soul. Well, he's a computer, so I don't feel bad for him, but that would suck. Interesting how we put Papa Doc Duvalier and Kristen McAuliffe in the same sentence. Like, okay. One is a good, one is a bad. Hey, Papa Doc was an evil dictator, right? Haiti? Somewhere down there? Dominican?
I don't know.
Or she? Oh, definitely. She shouldn't be dying. She's the challenger, if you don't know. She died on the space shuttle.
Nope.
So that would be Discordia. But I don't anyway, move on. Mordred, too, was a twin. I was interested to hear that. A Jekyll and Hyde creature with two selves, and he or it had the faces of two fathers to remember. So what do you do when you're doing a Gunslinger's Credo?
You have to work extra hard.
Yeah, you have to do it twice. Like, can you wait? I got to recite this thing twice, one for each dad. So he doesn't mean a literal twin. He just means he's like wait, it's not schizophrenic anymore. It's multiple person. So dissociative identity or something, right?
For what? I forgot. I'm sorry.
Mordred. He's calling Mordred a twin. A Jekyll and I was interested to hear that. I don't know what that means, though. I mean, in theory, I know what it means, but Mordred has another Detta possibly in there.
I don't really know what that means, to be honest.
I feel like you're getting tired of talking about it.
Me?
Yeah. I don't. Like I said, I highlighted that because I don't remember that being the thing, but I guess we're going to find out. I certainly don't remember everything. And we already talked about Jake. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm good at this point, right? Although it's a short episode. I mean, Jake. Basically, I didn't realize how we jumped around. I thought we already covered Jake, and now it's back to Jake. So they're doing his thing now. So they escape. The doors chassis. I like how Roland and Eddie like can go through the rip in the space time continuum to go wherever the hell they want.
Well, it's the magic of the whatever he called it. I don't remember.
The prim.
Yeah.
So that was the prim, that thing they were coming through.
Yeah. What do they call that area where all the walk-ins are? I can't remember, but.
Oh, I don't remember. I remember the walk-ins. I don't remember.
It's like magical.
Yeah. Well, I think he said it's magic left over from the prim.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, and what does that mean? They didn't need it all. Like, here, we got some extra. See what happens when you do this. I like how. So he wrote this what, like 5 years after 9/11. Almost like too soon. Because they're doing when they're going through the tunnel or whatever under the Dixie Pig, they got like tourist destinations that they can go to.
Yeah.
And September 11th was one of them. Tickets for this wonderful event. My point in that, it says asthmatics prohibited without doctor's certificate. Like, that's actually kind of funny. That cracked me up. Because they care about your health at North Central Positronics. And,
I mean, I was thinking that too. Like, but like, is that even real? Like, who's buying stuff down there?
I kind of want to see what the souvenirs are. Like, they're like, I saw the towers fall at 9/11.
Also, I know we touched on the mind trap, but like that moment where Jake is like realizing that there's a jungle ahead with a lion in it, and then finds out the dinosaur. Or has to go back and face, the army of low men and vampires or whatever is left. I'm like, God, that like hasn't this kid been through enough already?
I know. Yeah, why is it always Jake?
Because I just think like his version, like his mind trap nightmare is like what mine would be. Like lions and dinosaurs, I used to actually have nightmares about.
If you isolate it, yeah, I think a lion is much more terrifying than a dinosaur. I gotta tell you.
Well, yeah, because chances are it's gonna be easier to get you.
Right. The dinosaur might not notice you. The lion definitely will.
Yeah.
You ever see we might talk about that. Ghost in the Darkness. It's about two man-eating lions that were terrorizing a bunch of English people in South Africa. They ate like half the camp. Did I ask who the hell Bango Skank was? Because he came up again. Matter of fact, Jake thinks that too. Oh, although I was gonna say, if you just like take this and isolate out all the Jake parts from everything else and read only Jake's perspective, that's pretty awful. The shit he goes through.
I agree.
Compared to like everyone around him, his journey is much worse, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
I wrote down one of those passages, and where he's talking about, where he wants the housekeeper to be his mom, and he says he knows it's not real. He knows that, but he'll make do with her until the real thing comes along, or until he grows old enough to get over his fear of the death fly. And I'm like, it's just so heartbreaking. This poor kid.
Oh, that whole death fly that really bothered him. Like the thought of flies buzzing around his coffin, and it's gonna happen, dude. I don't know what to tell you, because it's gonna happen to everyone.
Well, get cremated.
Yeah, I guess. If flies bother you that much, or well, they won't bother you at all. That's what. Anyway,
right.
I do kind of feel like fuck them flies. I'm not giving them any food.
Yeah, well, that would be just like
to cremate myself out of spite.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get into that right now, but for me, it's more about just like, I don't want to. There's no point in wasting space in the ground.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, and I often think about that. I was actually surprised when great granddad, Catholic, I'm not allowed to do that now.
Yeah.
And it's basically, think about how much. I often think about that. Like, how many people are under the goddamn ground. Holy shit, there's a lot. Like everyone ever. As a matter of fact. And I don't know what that number is. That's probably too much to even try to consider. But oh my God. It was like, at what point are we not going to have anywhere? Are they just going to be lining people up because they don't have anywhere to bury them?
Like,
That's part of the reason cremation started.
Yeah, I think that's why the Catholics allowed it. They're like, okay, I think we're going to run out of room here. And yeah, so much wasted space. Like they're going to be like Maine in the winter, just piled up in the mausoleum. Every time they tell that story, I'm like, oh. I mean, they don't have funerals in Maine in the winter because the ground's too frozen and they basically can't dig it. So they like leave them frozen, and then when it starts to thaw, then they put them in the ground and have the funeral.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of creepy, I gotta tell you.
I could not have that job, yeah. Like where you have to like maintenance on that. What do they call that room?
Is that mortuary? No, it's not a mortuary. Mausoleum? No, those are all like family plots, right? Maybe it's a mortuary. I don't know. That big stone building with the block on it.
Yeah.
He always points to it. I'm like, right, don't go in there. Do you thaw them out?
But you just
Come in there frozen.
I think not.
Do you open the coffin to see like how they look? Is it an open coffin funeral? Yeah, there's no way. But there would be no decomposition, right? Anyway, I'm going down my own rabbit hole. Jake feels pair like no one else. Jake's actually mourning him. Like Jake's journey is so much. I feel so much more for Jake than anyone else. You know, I like Eddie. He's not really been through anything that Jake has, or anywhere near. But no, none of them have. I guess Roland has, but not really in this part of the story.
And Roland was born for that. Like he was born into a line of gunslingers.
Yeah,
it's true. That's all he ever knew. He trained for it his whole life.
Poor Jake is. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, like Susanna's been through a fair amount of shit too, but in a different way.
Hers is real life shit.
Susanna was going through shit before she ever met Roland, you know? Jake was basically okay.
Jake?
Yeah. Before he got called. I mean, he wasn't perfect, but he was, like I said, basically. I mean, what was his...
I don't think he had anyone that he felt like cared about him or loved him.
Except for that one lady.
And even she constantly reminded him she's not his mother.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I mean...
It's not really okay.
I guess not okay, but he wasn't under any immediate threat. Like, I don't feel like he was as bad off as, say, Eddie or Susanna was coming into it.
I would say that's probably fair if you're talking immediate threats.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, Jake
but Eddie and Susanna at least had friends and family most of their lives up to that point.
I mean, are we calling Frank Henry a friend?
Well, I wasn't actually talking about Henry.
That's all Eddie had, right? And the great sage and Anna Junkie. Because their mom was dead or something, died of cancer, I think.
I think she died when they were a little younger. Maybe I don't remember, but
like a year or two before we met him.
But even if I still get the sense he had friends. I don't remember. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for the what's his name, Mrs. Shaw. Because she obviously knows that this kid sees her as a mom. So, like, what do you do? Like, you don't want to give him false hope, but you don't want to crush him either. Like,
oh, yeah.
Maybe you tell mom to pay attention to your fucking son. Of course, then you better check the one ads because you'll be looking for a job.
It is also very tricky because it's not illegal to neglect your son emotionally, unfortunately.
Right? Technically, they're not they're not doing anything prosecutable. I'm not saying they're not doing anything wrong, but no, I can't finish that sentence. But
right, what? Because my first thought was she should call Child Protective Services, but I was like, what for? What? They're not. I mean, they're just being rich parents who don't care about their son.
Right, rich part of New York. There's probably a whole building of them.
Yeah.
That's like Hollywood. They pay people to take care of those kids.
Quote unquote, take care of.
Right, like fucking. What's the name? Robert De Niro just had a kid. He's like 85. Like, what are you doing?
Jeez.
Probably back growing up with one parent.
Because that kid's going to grow up without parents, or at least without one parent.
Yeah.
You're going to be nothing but pictures and movies from the 70s.
No, I agree. I always that's I mean that's the counter argument to such an age difference is like it's fine, but you realize you're changing like your child's life by doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a rabbit hole that you probably shouldn't explore at the moment. But yeah, they so it's much the same. Jake's being ignored by his rich parent.
I forget where we were
Before I said that.
It's just heartbreaking that he's fantasizing about his parents dying so that his housekeeper can be his mother, even though he's still reminding himself it's not real, but it'll have to do in the meantime. And I'm like, no child should ever be thinking like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely lonely, and mostly he has that one friend kind of in the beginning, but then you never hear from that kid again. He's like, whoa, I'm out on this shit. Like how Oi.
Oh, I wrote that down. I was like, God, no wonder him and Oi connect so much. Finally, he has someone who loves him like unconditionally, who won't leave him, who protects him, like who cares about him.
That's why we love our pets, right? Unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's ache even when he's in ache.
Walking like a human was simply too hard, too nerve wracking. He goes down on all fours, and like I kind of want to see that. So was being close to all of Ake's thinking machinery. He felt an urge to turn and look at it, all those bright mirror surfaces, but didn't. To look might well bring on hypnosis or something worse. Okay. Like that started kind of fun and then got kind of weird. So if he's talking about turning around looking at Jake's brain, how would you even anyway? I like how the Tyrannosaurus Rex is a Tyrannosorbet or Tyrannosorbit.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, dinosaur ice cream. I think I'm on board with that. The last was a Tahin with the head of an intelligent.
That is, again, this
Must be like a wasp, like a water bird.
A stoat is like kind of like a ferret.
Oh, it is. Yeah, they all have kind of like rat ferret heads. So I haven't seen anything not bird-like or rat-like. So I wonder if that's a thing. Like, does Tahin imply like a bird head, or is it just animal head? I don't remember.
That's a good question.
Who was Flaherty? Oh, he's the one chasing him. Oh, it's not Sayer, it's Flaherty chasing him. Wait, what happened to Sayer?
Sayer died because Susanna killed him.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. So then Flaherty is the one chasing Jake.
Yeah.
And he's the one.
He's
when Roland and Ed show up, they're like, which one of you will lead? Like, you fucking cowards went after this kid and killed an old man, and you won't fucking, what does he say? Take responsibility for your actions. And then Flaherty's like, yeah, fine. It was me. Just kill me already. Although he tries to.
trick in a book or
Something like that. He tries to draw on Roland while he's talking to him.
Yeah.
And even though Roland's, I don't know, gun was still in his pocket when he started pulling the trigger, Roland beat him to it. Like, I don't know, man. They're fast, but that's kind of well, maybe he's magically fast. Once upon a time, when everyone lived in a deep, dark forest and nobody lived anywhere else. That's from Went Through the Keyhole, right?
I don't know.
That's from something, isn't it? Then we've come across that before, right? It sounded familiar to me. I think it was Went Through the Keyhole.
Yeah, it didn't sound familiar.
Do you guys know what Jake's talking about with Thermopylae Pass and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Emery, have you seen the movie 300?
300.
No.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should. It's a Tarantino, very visual movie, but that's about Thermopylae Pass. Basically, yeah, they can only come like 5 at a time, so it didn't matter how many there were; they just kept killing them. So that's what Jake was talking about, the kitchen door. He's like, "Come on, just keep coming through. I'll just keep."
I mean, I understood from context what they were saying, so yeah, that's why I was like, I don't.
Right, I was just
up,
asking if you understood the reference. I figured you understood the context.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't look it up because I was like, I got it. I don't care.
Moving on.
For all I know, it's probably not real.
Yeah, right. Only his Cullum shirt, blue chambray. It's also ironed. Fancy. And here goes Roland smiling again. So he's like dancing and smiling, and I think Roland got up. What if ancient alien?
Well, they're vindicated right now.
Oh my God, I know. I was like, what? Bipartisan bill. Like, all it takes is fucking aliens for the two sides to agree.
Well, I mean, that was something that we've always said. Like, you have a common enemy or someone to work against.
Reagan said that.
Together.
I often wonder if aliens come to attack, how trivial our differences will seem, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. It's just land, man. I get there's a finite amount, but get over it.
Well, my point was, I've seen a few people on YouTube have been like, the crazy conspiracy theorists like Giorgio were right? Question mark. I'm like, not quite.
I feel like there's going to be a bunch of new Ancient Alien episodes coming real soon.
Oh, for sure.
Special Ancient Aliens Declassified.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody call Shatner. Get him over here.
He was in space. He probably met them.
Right? He sent him a message. I mean, was he?
Well, yeah, he was. What do you mean? You don't think that counts?
His upper atmosphere. I mean,
How
he
far
still
have
would
you
have
been in
felt
that?
if he walked out of as many times as him. 0. If he'd have walked out of spaceship, he would have fell down. So that's not space. He would have lived.
Interesting.
He would. That's the upper atmosphere. It was the very. I mean, it was 0.
Right, because they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him do that, right?
Well, yeah, to break the atmosphere is a whole nother ball of wax. You got to do the heat panels and all that shit.
Yeah.
So they were very at the top. They were like probably as high as that crazy Red Bull motherfucker.
Yep.
I can't think of his name. He jumped out of he parachuted from like fucking, I don't know,
excuse me,
50,000 feet. No, higher than that. It was upper atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't breathe. He was up so high. He had a spacesuit on, and he just like walked out of the fucking ship he was in. Just and like you're standing there looking like the Earth is below you. You can see space.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could walk out of anything at that point. Like, no, get me back in here.
Yeah. Walk out of anything, let alone like throw yourself off a ledge.
No,
Like, nope.
willingly, on purpose. I don't even know if I don't know. Space is kind of terrifying. It's so big and daunting.
Kind of.
Well, like on the one hand, I want to be out there and check it out. On the other hand, I don't know. I'm kind of safe where I am. I don't think that will be ready in my lifetime. So.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is I think I'd have an easier time going in space than I would going in deep water.
You and everybody else.
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
both space and like the deep ocean are pretty terrifying.
Right. Yeah,
They're
that's
both
what I'm
gonna,
saying.
yeah, they're both gonna end the same way.
That's
If you
why
make
I'm
a
like, I
mistake.
don't like. They're both probably my top. Well, I'm not really afraid of space because I'm not gonna get there. But if I was in space, I would be afraid of that, which is why I don't want to do it.
That's why some of my favorite movies are about like people going insane in space because you are so fucked, or
Yeah.
going insane on a ship or a submarine. Well, submarine's not big enough to be fun, but
Any horror movie or movie where like it's based on the fact that you're stranded or you can't get
yeah,
to your base location, it's just already is like,
like yeah, yeah. This is where you are, and you're not going anywhere. But this is gonna happen, and you can't run away.
right.
That's the whole thing. 2001: Space Odyssey. The computer that controls the ship goes insane.
Well, must have moved on.
What is wrong with Roland? That's not the dry twist. What is that? Because it just came back again. We haven't heard about that in a while. But now he's like drinking a whole glass of tea at Cullum's house, and
Well, he called it the dry twist to them, but
but he was lying.
right. What's her name? Callahan's housekeeper was like, it's
Munoz.
arthritis or whatever. Like it's actually serious.
Isn't the dry twist arthritis? Is it the same
I don't
thing?
know.
Like I guess this would become a thing at some point, but I don't know what's wrong. They're not saying what is actually wrong with them, just that like it's serious and it's not arthritis. Okay, great.
Well, I think there, because aren't there different types of arthritis?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I have a couple of them.
Yeah. So like, it might be like the dry twist is just like the aches and pains that come with old age and joints getting like creaky and stuff versus something like rheumatoid arthritis where it's like more structural, like deeper in your bones or something.
Yeah.
So what? He's not going to be able. Somebody going to have to carry his ass to the fucking tower? Like I don't. What is?
Well,
where are we going with this?
That's what he was saying, and I think it was like Wolves of the Cala. Where he was like, they'll keep going, even if I have to be dragged behind, because I can't.
It just seems too convenient to me that this serious condition that's affecting him is not affecting his shooting abilities.
That's what I'm wondering. Are we going somewhere, or is it going to become a like detriment?
I mean, it hasn't so far, and it's like clear if he's like losing weight, and I don't know why it took Eddie so long to see it, but he can finally see it now.
I don't think they eat a lot to begin with. So
That's true.
gunslinger burritos can only take you so far. I like how IBM becomes. Cullum stopped dealing with IBM because they showed an increasing willingness to do business with North Central Positronics. Tell me how you really feel. He also has a story in fuck. I can't remember which one. The one with the bizarre bad dreams? No. It's called Word Processor to the Gods. So it's something he had to write in the 90s when there was word processors. But it's an IBM that, like, when he writes it, it comes true. And then, of course, he decides he doesn't like somebody and he starts killing people. I felt he has a thing with IBM there. He's called them out a couple times.
It is funny how much, like, I'm sure people who don't read a lot, like, even if you read only a couple, you don't realize there's not a lot that's by accident. So a lot of these things are very purposeful. Like, he is calling them evil or whatever.
Yeah. Nothing by accident. He put every word on there on purpose. So it wasn't like he was like, oops, I didn't know how that got in there.
Or let me just pick a random company. I don't know. It's like, nope, that's not how that works for him.
Yeah. Or making up a company.
Well, he will do that.
Right. So he definitely left the real company in there for a reason. Yeah, so Roland and Eddie can go. So that's whole. The walk-ins are coming through. It's the Prim. So they think about where they want to go and they just jump into the Prim. Why didn't they just? I mean, honestly, why didn't they just say Dark Tower and go there?
Yeah, that would be so funny. Like, gotcha.
I mean, we all know, Eddie included, that he will, and he says it, that he'll leave him for the tower if it comes to that, and he knows it, but he's still going.
Well,
Like,
he
why
wouldn't
didn't you?
Eddie with him unless he just like let go of him. You mean?
You know, the whole thing Eddie's going through.
He's like, at this point, I'm going to the tower with or without Roland. Like, he might have been able to talk him into it
Yeah.
and made an argument that that's how they saved Susanna, by saving the tower or something. Like,
That's a good point, actually.
we could have made this book real short, Dark Tower, or Crimson King, wherever the fuck that crazy guy is. Because I'm not sure that's the same place, right?
No, I think it's established that the Crimson King is at the Dark Tower.
All right, we just don't know what key card he has.
Yeah.
Be damned to you then, Sharika. Well, that's a new one. Sharika, I like that.
Like I said, I just stopped even noticing them.
It's like, but if I translate that, that's like burning fate. I like it. Yeah, and then it's back to poor Jake. So, right before part 2, we got Kanzanazala, so I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant either.
Yeah,
because the Dark Tower.
I guess that means we're world hopping. Because then it goes back to they're just reunited. It's just hanging out with them. That's why I stopped reading, because I didn't want to talk about any reunite stuff.
I also forgot about how long it's been since they were together. And also, like, when they were together the last time was when they were fighting the wolves, so it didn't really feel like there was a lot going on.
Right, again, like, they just kind of took off from the wolves and never, like, it almost feels unresolved. I mean, I know it's technically resolved, but there was no, like, whew, man, what a fight that was, like, they just, like, Susanna took off, and they've been split since then.
Yeah.
All through the book we didn't need.
Yeah, like, I know it's been a whole book since they've been together, but hasn't it still only been like tops like 5 days?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I think even less, maybe, because they waited
I
like
think
a
it's been,
day before the Manny.
Yeah, like they waited one night between Susanna disappearing and them going up to the Cave of Voices.
and they got 1 day in the hotel room.
Yeah.
So it's been like 2 days, 3 days.
Right.
I think it's been 2.
Right.
Because
When you're in love, it feels
Susanna
like
didn't even have a night in the hotel.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, they didn't even make the night, right? They like checked in and then fucking went toe dash.
Yeah.
All right, I think we gave that its just due. Maybe a little more on Callahan and the vampires, but leave out of this story. Much like the boat, Callahan has passed from this tale forever. I think. Who knows?
I'm glad he finally got his redemption.
I liked Callahan, and most of it was Dark Tower Callahan, and which means
all of it.
Book 5. It's basically one more book of Callahan, and then he dies in the next one. Well,
Yeah,
I guess he's in Song of Susanna. There's like one chapter on them finally at the end, because we're like, what the fuck is going on with Jake and Callahan?
Yeah, like he was really only in Wolves of the Calla, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's basically in 2 books. Sounds Lot and Wolves of the Calla. I like, his whole. I wish there was like a whole book on his whole New York or after Salem Lot story, because I love that story.
He could. I mean, he should. easily he could go back and write short stories about some of the adventures.
He could write so much more about the tower. There's so many. I don't think he feels like fucking with it. It was hard enough to get him to do these 7, 5 years in between. Well, I think at first he was just intimidated, but then when he figured out he was going to die, he was like, I'm not intimidated anymore. I'm writing it all right now. But it doesn't mean you can't go back every now and then and, go to Jericho Hill or something. I really wish he would write that. I mean, I don't even remember what the graphic novel says because that was right after the tower. And I'm just going to stop right there. I'm not going to say anything else. I was not ready to absorb Jericho Hill because I kind of forgot everything that I read. So I know Cuthbert dies. And I think Elaine dies at Jericho Hill too, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, tangent. So what's on tap next time? I'm trying to get to it.
Part 2 is very long.
Part 2. I don't have page numbers, annoyingly, in my content from this book.
Well, I guess it's.
5 by 4.
Oh yeah, the 421. It's like.
So I got. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we could we do 3 weeks and just do all of part 2?
That'd be a really long podcast, I think.
Yeah, I think for our sake, it would be better to split it up.
Okay.
She's not a fan.
Well, I'm gonna have to either do a work day because I can't do 2 weeks from now.
Well, we can still do it in 3 weeks. I don't think it matters.
Okay.
How many pages? Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 12 parts. Part 12 is called the Tet Breaks.
Yeah, I know. I already read it. I already checked.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, never mind. We can't do part 2 all at once. We just can't. And then now I know we can't.
That's what I'm saying.
I
think for our sake, we should split it up.
You could almost do. Oh, Shimi comes back. Oh, there's so much. Notes from the gingerbread house. I don't remember what. Okay. Let's just split it in half.
Sorry.
You could almost do like 11 and 12 as one part episode podcast. Because
right.
I'm sorry, Al. I don't mean to keep doing that to you.
Well, and I hadn't even looked at the names of these things, and I mean, I'm obviously if I had, I would know, but I was like, she becomes the Tet Breaks. Oh my god!
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm doing.
Oh shit!
I'm like, oh shit. Well, I like Shimi because I forgot that he comes back. Because I remember Shimi from this Shimi, not from Wizard and Glass Shimi.
I liked him in Wizard and Glass too.
Oh no! I'm not saying I don't. But this is the Shimi I remember. I think is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
This
Shimi had a bigger impact on you than Wizard and Glass.
Much like Callahan. No, I'm not gonna say anything. You got to figure it out. Find out for yourself. Okay, so let's do. Emma, how many pages? If we do Master of Blue Heaven, how many is that? Okay. I guess we're good then, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
On to part 2. The Devil Twop, whatever that means, I don't remember. End of the 3rd episode. No, I shouldn't say that. End of the episode. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.